Okay, good afternoon, Professor. My name is Mario. At this time, I'm gonna share with you about my lesson plan. We have the content, we have the adjective, and also those activities, and a little bit of evaluation that I'm gonna use in my lesson plan. Let's see right here about the written part, which is in this case the professor name is Mario Lopez. The class is for English 1. The level is for A1 because this is a very basic English. In the date, I'm gonna work, or I decide to work only one day, in this case on July 6th. But with the class durations of in total are 4 periods with 45 minutes. It means that the student will be involved with the language or with the content in 3 hours. So first of all, I added important things that student or when we're going to work in our lesson plan that we have to establish and have in our mind and have in our written paper and where we're going to in everywhere. Well, so this is important that we have to have in our hand, which is the content. The content that I'm gonna cover here with my students are that we're gonna focus exactly on singular and plural nouns. Also, they're gonna know about the differences between this regular and irregular nouns. They're gonna see also the countable and uncountable noun. They're gonna use also the quantifiers like some, any, much, and many. Additional to that, they're gonna use also there is and there are. All those contents are together or linked with the singular and plural nouns. Um, it is important to know too the learning outcomes that they will be able to do at the end or during the course. So a student will be able to identify singular and plural noun in sentences, use a singular noun and plural noun in simple sentence, and express affirmative sentence using the quantifier and also the use of there is and there are. They would also ask questions using how many and how much, which deal with countable and uncountable nouns. And finally, also, they are going to read aloud the paragraph or the reading text that will be described later on. And let's see the learning activities. I added so you ask us to work on the four important skills, which is the listening, speaking, reading, and writing. But recently, most of the research, most of the specialists suggest to all the teachers around the world to include vocabulary, which is considered also one of the other skill that we have to add it to our lesson. So that is why I included here, the vocabulary. So the vocabulary will be means as a teacher, I will provide them some examples of regular and irregular nouns. So I will be explaining also to them the different rules to pluralize the nouns, especially the regular nouns. So when the nouns end in y, when the noun ends in o, when the noun end in x, double s, sh, and so on. So I will provide some examples to them in order to have the vocabulary to use in the context. With the vocabulary, also student write a different type of quantifier. So I will provide those quantifiers like some, any, much, and many that they are going to be used during the class. Also, they have to know, or they will know, the difference between the countable and countable nouns. So the key concept there is countable and uncountable. And also the use of there is and there are. Those are key vocabulary that they have to be aware in order to have a good outcomes at the end of this lesson. On the other hand, in listening activities, it says the student will listen or student listen and complete the sentence with the correct singular or plural nouns. In this case, I will provide a series of sentences to them, and they're gonna listen to me, and I'm gonna read the answer within that blank space, and they have to write the nouns. In this case, I'm gonna work exactly with the regular nouns. That's the listening activities. The reading activity and writing at the same times. It said the student complete a reading text by writing the correct plural noun in each blank space. Professor will give them a word bank, in this case, irregular noun they will use. So in this case, I will provide a text to them um, where they have to complete the sentences or the readings using irregular nouns, just irregular nouns. And after that, they will stand up and read aloud at least three sentences of the text they completed. And feedback will provide at the same time. It means that if some of the student may run or have a wrong answer in any of the sentence, so I will be giving them feedbacks by giving them the right answers or make a discussion with the whole group if they are agree or not agree with the answer and so on. So it means in these activities, they're going to read and at the same time, they're going to write. And also, the next one is writing again, writing. So I'm going to, as a teacher, I'm going to provide 10 images to them, which they have to write sentences, affirmative sentences, by using the quantifier and the use of there is and there are too. So in brief, I'm going to give the 10 images to them. They have to write one sentence for each images using the quantifiers and also the use of there is and there are. And the last one activity is speaking. So the student use the same images and the same sentences, and they have to present it orally. So the same picture, the same sentences they wrote, they will now present it orally. And I will provide a checklist to them in order to be evaluated. That's in general those activities that I'm going to work with them. And finally, this is the checklist. This is an example of checklist that I'm going to give to them. The point in the total points or the activity is 20 points. These are the criterias. I'm going to take into consideration tone of voice, preparedness, the content. The content is based on the 10 sentences they're going to present using the images, posture and eyes contact with the classmate and the teacher. It means the posture and eyes contact with the audience. And the last one is speak clearly, which is related to pronunciation and fluency. With a scale of excellent, which 4 point, good 3 point, regular 2 point, and need improvement 1 point. And there is also a square there or spaces where I can write them and observations. So basically, this is my little, I will say, little lesson plan related to, I use here 4 skills, including vocabulary and with the content of singular and plural nouns. Thank you, Professor. That is my presentation.